So that was a pretty good session. I know it was cold outside. I know that it's also garbage day, and there's puddles outside, so it's kind of rough with Lewis
Yes.
in that situation. But overall, you did pretty well. I liked that even though we had kind of a rough start, you did really well bouncing back from that, getting Lewis's behavior back to regulated,
Right.
which was good. Got back to task and got back to the task that we were doing.
Right.
So there were a couple of notes that I had here. First of all, it looks like this time we didn't have a timer.
Right.
We forgot the timer. It's kind of important to have just because being consistent is important for things like this. In the future, it won't be so important to have the timer because we're going to walk away from being so set in like 10
Right.
seconds. And
But
things
I was
like that.
counting though. I was,
Yeah, you did a really good job.
Maybe I was off by a second or two.
Yeah, no,
but,
so I have it here. You actually did a really good job of being really close to
Right.
our 10 to 12 second mark, so that
Right.
was still good, but it would be good to have a timer
Right.
still in the future.
Yeah.
But either way, still good.
Okay.
The other thing was there was a couple times that you threw out that wait the verbal prompt at unnecessary times. So like
Oh, when he
if
was
he
pulling.
was yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the reason. Thank you for noticing.
Right.
So sometimes he would pull,
Mhm.
and you would, just throw out that wait
Right.
command. So that's the reason. So right now we have the leash set to, the condition is 2 feet,
Right.
and we're going every 10 seconds, asking him to wait and reinforcing that
Right.
waiting.
Right.
It's set like that so that we can reinforce the waiting when we ask him to. If we're just throwing out wait whenever and not reinforcing it, that can confuse him. And later on, when we're actually trying to reinforce that, he might not follow through with that behavior. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So in the future, let's try to just, we're making sure that that leash is set to 2 feet. So that's perfect. We're not going anywhere, or he's not going anywhere, and just reinforcing anytime, after
Right.
when we do that wait command after 10 seconds, or when we extend it in the future,
Right.
whatever it might be. The last thing is the backhand feeding.
Yes.
Yeah. So still this time, some difficulty doing that.
Well, I did this. He just swallows my whole hand sometimes.
Yeah. So the whole thing is that we want to try to have our hand more upright.
Oh.
If we're going like this, it's kind of, he can still grab your whole hand.
Right.
If you have your hand more up like this, he kind of has to go over the top. He's not grabbing your hand. He kind of has to either lift his chin up like this or kind of turn his head sideways, and it kind of
Okay.
avoids him from biting your fingers.
And I thought I was doing it right, but I
No.
guess not right.
Fantastic effort, but I even noticed how you said at the end there, how you were like, ow, like,
Right.
you're eating all my
Right.
fingers. So when we're doing that backhand, that's the reason that we're calling it that backhand, because literally the back of your hand is facing him.
Yes.
When we do it like that, it's avoiding. It's strictly just for your safety. It's not
Right.
doing anything for him. It's
Right.
literally just for you.
Right. Okay.
So when we're doing it like that, it's going to avoid any kind of injury to you, especially when it's cold out, and he can still
Right.
obtain that reinforcer.
Okay.
Other than that, everything is on point, and everything, fidelity was relatively high across the board for everything. And like I said, as you can see, he is walking with you.
Right.
It's a lot better, much, much better than before.
Then it was, right.
There are some other issues to hammer out as far as like other dogs, garbage,
Yes.
food. But we're working up to that point. We're going to increase the weight tolerance and try to extend those waiting behaviors to other things like when he's trying to pull into the
Right.
street or something like that, and try to maybe extend that leash
Yeah.
space to something more socially acceptable than 2 feet.
Right.
So we'll talk about that, but thank you.
Okay, thank you.